Hey everybody, I want to officially welcome you to 2021. I know it's a little late, but I just want to say that, it's going to be a good year. There's going to be amazing things that are going to happen, and I believe that you are capable of accomplishing all of your goals, and even though it's a little late, I didn't want to neglect to say it. Wow, 2020 was not the year we expected. I really loved looking back at my 2020 vision cast that I did last year. I'm going to post the link below in the comments. I, like many people, chose to do a vision cast for 2020, and it's really interesting knowing what I know now and going back and looking at that vision cast. There were so many things that I couldn't possibly foresee that God knew what was going to happen, and so it was really interesting. The things that He laid on my heart that He wanted me to accomplish and do really became so vitally necessary. My three main words for 2020 were, the number one was connection, which was really interesting to experience in a year when connection became harder than ever, and yet also deeper, more meaningful than ever, because suddenly we were all on a very similar page. And so I really enjoyed that journey and going through connecting more over 2020. And honestly, God blew my mind with all the different connections that He created in my business life, in my personal life, in my ministry life. My mind is blown, honestly. My second word was professional. I wanted my website and everything to be far more professional than it ever had been. And kind of combined with that, I was inspiration. I wanted to be more inspiring and I wanted to be more inspired. And ironically enough, that did happen in huge leaps and bounds in my business, but it also happened in my personal life too, and in my ministry life, and my spiritual walk especially. So when I picked the word inspiration and professionalism, I didn't really see it going in that direction, but God did. And it was really awesome to see it work out the way it did. One of the most amazing things that happened this past year was I did a week of intensive prayer over a friend of mine, and 8 other women joined me. So there was 9 of us total. And we were all praying intensively over this friend who was struggling with her belief in God. Between the 9 of us, we all experienced miracles in and around our lives. And I don't think that was a coincidence that all of that happened in that week. There weren't little things, there was healings happening. And in fact, even in Germany, a friend of mine who was in the prayer group, she experienced a final breakthrough in a drought that they'd had for months. So that inspired me. Through my work and my personal life and my spiritual life, it impacted all 3. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that in the coming year. My last word was creativity. I wanted to bring more creativity to my work and to my personal life. I picked up the ukulele and started playing ukulele, and that was like a way I was being creative at home. And I have brought a lot of creativity to my work, and how I do my work, how my work is presented. One thing that I didn't anticipate creativity having an impact in my work is having to make more resources online than in person. And that was not what I wanted, really, but after the year was over, I was so glad that I did, because now I have so many resources that I can just put into people's hands easily. And so I'm very excited about that, and I think that it's really going to impact my work positively. So that's a basic summary of 2020 for me. Again, it was just beyond inspiring, beyond connection, and beyond creativity. It was full. And yes, there were hardships, yes, there were struggles, but overall, I saw God's hand working throughout it all, and I got to see amazing changes in people's lives, and I'm really glad that I got to be a part of that. I want to go over things that were on my 2020 goal list that I accomplished. For instance, I finished my breastfeeding class, I finished my post-abortion counseling course, I finished my bereavement doula course. I saw growth in the Doulas of DFW page that I made. In fact, I'm able to do a couple times a month spotlight on doulas that are joining the page, and I have found that I'm actually connecting doulas with clients, and that makes me so excited. Getting to see, those clients find that perfect doula, not just the first one they stumble upon, has been really awesome. I have also seen that Voices of Eve is still a positive social media environment. That was something that I mentioned in my video last year, that I don't really worry about my followers being hateful to each other. And I actually had a doula said, why do you have less than X amount of followers? Is it because you don't really care about your social media presence? And her indication was that I was either making a conscious choice to have less than 1,000 or 5,000 followers, or that I was being lazy. And the truth is that's not the truth. I want to get more followers, and I'm slowly working on that, but I don't want to get a bunch of followers who don't care about what I do and who I can't connect with. I love being able to have conversations with you on Facebook, and I think that those connections are deeper than just a name in a 5,000 bag of people that I don't know. So getting to interact with you is important to me. I don't want to rush going into that realm of Facebook following. You know, I still want to be able to connect with you because that's important. I also started my vlog and podcast, which I hoped that I would get done in the same year, but I was really amazed that I did. I was very surprised. And it's one of those things where I don't fully focus on either. I just really like creating content, and I know that some people enjoy podcasts more, some people enjoy videos more, some people enjoy blogs more. So I'm trying to create an array of different kinds because I want you to be able to connect with me in a way that is convenient and inspiring for you. I don't want it to be hard. I want it to be easy. I also finished creating my childbirth class, which was probably my biggest goal for the year because I really wanted it. And I worked so hard, and being quarantined, I got a lot of those videos done during that lockdown, let me tell you. But it was really awesome to be able to create that, and I've been able to, give it away to families in need. I've been able to lower the cost of it for others, and then I've been able to give it to other people at full cost. It's just been really awesome to just have it as that resource that people can use. And I'm really hoping to add to it this year because it wasn't bare bones, but I got the main things that I wanted, and now I want to slowly add little things because the cool thing about it is it's not a childbirth class that you have to tick off every single box to pass or anything. And you don't even have to do it in any specific order. So as you go through this childbirth class, you can say, I don't really need a video on hip squeezes, but I would really like that video on breastfeeding. You can just kind of pick and choose. So having a lot of resources on it is not going to make it too much for families. It's just going to make it more comprehensive for families. Another goal from 2020 was to increase my client list, and I definitely did that in bigger ways than I imagined. In a year when businesses should be doing worse, God really propelled me into doing so much better than I'd ever done before. In 2019, I served 10 clients, and in 2020, I served 27. So God more than doubled. In fact, He came this close to tripling my clientele in a year in a pandemic. And I'm so honored and so grateful for the families that trusted me during the most difficult year of their lives, more likely than not. And that just wows me. They set aside, money to pay for me. They trusted me above others, and I can't put into words how grateful I am for that, because that's a gift more than I can ever earn or believe is possible. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I want to talk about 2020 accomplishments that I didn't plan for, but wow, were definitely done and amazed me. I got to connect with 3 doulas who are also passionate about serving low-income families, and they really made me realize that I'm not alone in that aspect, and really encouraged me in me encouraging them that, we are an army of people who really want to help those in need. And that inspired me to create resources to help those doulas and other doulas around the world who are helping low-income families. And one of the things that I'm doing to do that is I created a birth worker conference where we're going to be talking about needs of low-income families. And in that conference, it's not geared just towards doulas who are serving low-income families primarily. They're also for people who, want to serve some of the time. Like maybe they want to donate a birth a year or something like that. Or even those doulas who aren't called to serve low-income families, but they want to find ways to support those who do. And all of those 3 people are amazing and awesome and are desperately needed. And so in that conference, I'm going to be talking about that, and I'm really excited to dive into that topic. I also got to counsel and encourage and mentor many doulas online. I honestly don't know how many, because it felt like it was happening every, a couple times a month. And so I really got to, talk to them and encourage them and give them some ideas and tips of things that I wish I'd known when I was a brand new doula. And so that really encouraged me as well. And it's going to become something that I want to do more officially in the coming year. I'm just looking for, how God wants me to do that. So I'm really excited about that. I also got a petition started that is a global petition, and it's one of those things times where I would love for it to work fast, but it's a slow game, and so I'm slowly building on it. I'm looking more towards the permanent future than a temporary band-aid on COVID-19. I'm looking at things to raise awareness about what doulas do, to make sure that any pandemic that comes, there's going to be a change of mind and thought process on it. And not over my opinion, over the fact that scientifically, communities need doulas. We need people in our communities who are working to educate and encourage and inspire the people in those communities. Doulas are more than just, I'm going to come with you and I'm going to rub your shoulders while you go through contractions and then say goodbye. We are a glue in society that really fills in a lot of cracks that are left vacant a lot of the times. Or, maybe there is this amazing service that fits this amazing thing in this city, but how does that help you if it's not in your town? And so having doulas in communities, we really are a collective of joining together resources and connecting things and just making sure that all the pieces are there so that families can be supported. Also, I partnered with a currently educating breastfeeding educator to do a breastfeeding support group, and so we're working on that together, and it's been really fun working with her. She actually is a former client. I got to watch her birth 2 of her beautiful babies, and I'm so happy that I get to partner with her because she's amazing. I also began guest speaking. I got to do it at a MOPS group, and it was so much fun. I have 3 speaking engagements lined up for this month, and I'm really excited to share with those groups. And what I share at different groups is different depending on the needs of the group. A lot of times they'll ask me, what do you like to talk about? And I'm like, I love to talk about everything. And if your group is struggling with something I don't know, I want to learn about it so that I can bring information to you. So I do a lot of collaborating with those group leaders and discovering what are the needs of their group, what's the dynamic of their group, and different things like that, so that I can know what to bring them. Because I don't want to stand there and talk for an hour about something that I really like to talk about, but maybe you don't need, because that's pointless. So I'm hoping to do more of that in this coming year. I'm hoping to get at least 1, if not 2, 3, maybe even 4 or 5 speaking engagements a month to help raise awareness about my ministry and what I do. I got to create more content this year than any other year before. And in fact, I was barely making any contact at all aside for what I had to do for my doula course. And I discovered that I really love it. And, getting to make things for my clients and for other people's clients, it's just been so much fun. And, getting to empower people through resources is what truly is the heart of my calling anyway. I also, after years of searching, finally found my backup doula. And let me tell you, she is amazing. She was so worth the wait, and we have really been able to partner up as often as we physically can, honestly. We're hoping to make videos soon about, different things about labor so that we can share them with our clients and others, and we're really excited about that. And she has just been so awesome. We've been taking pictures for each other at each other's births, and that's been a ton of fun, so that we can have, stock images for ourselves, but also so that our clients can have treasured memories to carry from their birth. So I'm really so happy to be partnered with her. I cannot brag about her enough. I finished 11 certificates from Evidence-Based Birth, another lockdown activity, and really enjoyed all of the knowledge that I got from that. I also got to be a small guest at a Christian birth worker conference. I was able to create videos for them, and I was also to be able to participate sharing about my work and why I'm passionate about it and how I like to bring community into my work. And so that was really, really fun, and I look forward to doing stuff like that again. But if you remember from last year, I don't just like to brag about me and God and all that stuff. I also like to brag about my clients, and whew, they really brought it this year. I'm telling you. 2 of my clients moved to new houses, which is awesome. 2 clients started their own business, which is amazing. 2 clients are pregnant again, which is so exciting. And one of my clients donated over 5,000 ounces of breast milk to families in need. So super proud of her and everything that she's accomplished. And those are just some of the highlights. Getting to be friends with my clients on Facebook, I really get to see a bunch of just little bitty triumphs of my kid potty trained, yay! And I love getting to celebrate each of those little things. If you guys know me very well, I don't like talking about money, but I am kind of proud by how much I have saved my clients. In 2020 alone, I saved my clients $7,034 in birth fees and support fees and different things like that. And that's $7,000 that went into their families, which is where that money needs to be. And I'm so proud of that. But not nearly as proud of the fact that to date, since I started my ministry, I have saved my clients $14,969. Wow. And the kind of double blessing in that is that $14,000 in those families' pockets taking care of their children as it needs to be. So that means in the 5 years that I've been doing business, half of what I saved clients was in 2020 alone, which means, again, just that doubling that God is doing and just saying, hey, I don't care that it's a pandemic year. I don't care that it's a really difficult year. I'm still going to bless your ministry and I'm still going to bless families. And thank you, God. That's amazing. Most exciting part, goals for 2021. I think that if I could choose one, if I could sum up all of these goals into one word, it would be more. I want to serve more clients. I want to save them more money so that they can better take care of their families. I want to create more resources. I want to get more access for my clients to things that they need. And there's lots of finite little steps to all of that. But overall, more. I want to do more counseling. I want to create courses for birth workers and Christian business owners. I want to create a devotion series for postpartum. That's in the works already, and I've already got first drafts of stuff, which is really exciting. I also want to finish my breastfeeding course. I have started it, but it is not finished. And that was one of the things that I wanted to finish this year. And if it weren't for all of the other goals that took its place, I think I would be sad about that. But now looking back, I see that God was really reprioritizing things for me and saying, that's awesome and it's going to happen. But for right now, I need these adjustments. I also want to create more virtual learning opportunities like my birth worker conference. I want to, really inspire those birth workers and really create an environment where they can learn. And I'm really excited about that. I'm also going to be working on my podcast guest speaker list. So if you would like to be a guest on my podcast, just let me know. I might have a good spot for you. And I would really like to do that.